Welcome to another episode of Riqueza podcast. I'm your host, Lia Landaverde, the Latina wealth activist. We are here today to have a conversation that I've been wanting to have for a while, but have felt just like overwhelmed by the topic because I also feel it often. And you're like, okay, what is she talking about? So I'm talking about the guilt. I'm talking about the guilt that we face as first gen individuals or just children of Latin parents. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the expectations that our parents have for us versus the expectations we want to set for ourselves. And as a first gen individual or a child of immigrants, we already know that our parents have these huge expectations for us, right? Whether it's to be their retirement or whether it's to help with the bills or whether it's to help them with their business. These are all things and experiences that first gen individuals face in their upbringing. I mean, at least me. No sé tú. Pero I realize in my own life, the way that I can create wealth in my life is by choosing myself and choosing my passions and choosing my dreams. Now, this stems back all the way back to when I was 19 years old, when I decided to move away from my family. Now, I'm a daughter of immigrants. I'm a daughter of entrepreneurs. I helped them run their business for as long as I can remember. From the age of 5 years old, I was already answering the phones. And so that being said, it was a big part of my life to help and support my parents. I went to school in order to help and support my parents. I got degrees to help and support my parents. And obviously some of it was for me and for my own, oh my God, I got a master's degree, I got a bachelor's degree. But in my life, my parents have also doubted my success. Okay, my parents have been the ones to criticarme, or I have family members who were like, why would you ever abandon your family? Or why would you ever do this in order to do or create that business or pursue that success? You know, we always have that one family member que nos va a decir algo. Now, when I was 19 years old, I moved away from my parents. I wanted to pursue a career in investment banking, and the only way to do that was to move 4 hours north. And so I packed my bags. I got the job. I decided to pack my bags, and my parents were the number one individuals to tell me I was going to fail and that I was going to come back crying and that I wasn't going to be successful. Why? Because they wanted me to be home, and I forgive them for all of that. But at the same time, it's like you're telling your child that you don't want them to succeed so that they can stay with you, so that they can help you. Obviously, my therapist knows that there's a lot of guilt that I have felt in my life because of moments like that. And I'm sure you felt the same. And, I wanted to pursue a full-time salaried job. Like, I was going to get paid at that point. It was like $46,000. That was more than my parents were ever paying me. My parents were paying me $12 an hour. Now, I start my career. A year in, my parents asked me to move back. My parents asked me, hey, can you help us run the business? We need your help. You have no idea how much guilt I felt in that moment when my parents told me to move back and to help them run the business. And when I told my dad, you can't pay me the salary that they're paying me at Goldman, he said, I will do it. I will make sure I pay you. Why don't you want to stay in the business? Why don't you want to stay in this industry? And I can give you my money. Like, isn't that more beneficial than taking money from this company? And back then, my thought process was like, I need to pursue a career for my own. I need to pursue a career for my own self. I need to pursue this career for my growth in my life. And I wanted, in those days, I wanted to be an executive at this bank. And so for me, it was like, I don't think that's going to happen. As much as I love you and as much as I want to be with you, but also for my own sake of my own career, but also my own personal life, because I was queer, I need space. I need time to grow. I need time to, pursue my passions. Now, that's a second instance of my life where they have asked me for help and I have felt that guilt. Now, that guilt has always stayed with me, even to this freaking day. I feel guilty that I'm not close to my parents all the time, that I live states away. But the point of this conversation is that a lot of us first-gen individuals or queer individuals, even if you've broken away from family, feel this pressure to create their own pathway while at the same time support your parents' retirement, support your parents' bills, support your parents' business. Now, when do you decide when to move forward for yourself and when to help your parents? That's a big question here. Because every time I have a client come to me and have this conversation, they're telling me about their finances. They're like, oh, and I want to help my parents, and I want to help my parents, and I want to help my parents retire. I've also had clients who are like, I want nothing to do with my parents, and that's okay. I want to create something for myself. Now, that client is someone who is choosing themselves because they can no longer financially support their parents or financially help their parents, or they've been, they don't have that great relationship. But if you are someone who does have a good relationship with your family and you do want to help your parents, the only solution here is boundaries. Okay, so every time I meet with my clients and they tell me, okay, my parents, I tell them the only way that we can help your parents is if we can help you first. Period. Okay, even in my own life, as I tell you these stories of me even pursuing my career, I had to learn these experiences on my own in order to give back to my parents, because I've given back to my parents in different ways, whether that's through skill set, through consulting, through actually going in and helping them, or financially supporting them in one way, shape, or form. I have helped my parents because I was able to help myself in my own future life, in my own financial goals. I was able to create a career for myself. Eventually, I started a business for myself. And with that being said, I chose myself at the end of the day, right? They are still in the picture. I still have these conversations about retirement and what that's going to look like and what support they need from me. But they do know that boundary. That boundary, instead of me talking about money with them, talking about, okay, this is how much I can help you. This is where I'm at financially for myself. These are my goals in my life. I'm going to ask you, when's the last time you had a conversation with your parents or with your family members about money? Probably didn't happen, right? En nuestra cultura no nos gusta hablar sobre el dinero porque tenemos esa presión de, oh, ella es la muy, muy, o mira, ahora tienen dinero, te quieren robar, o algo así, There's always these little emotions, I don't know, these fears around money and having that conversation because te van a criticar o vamos a pensar en qué va a pensar la gente sobre nosotros, right? So I highly recommend, if you've never had this conversation or set any boundaries before with your parents, it's not easy, trust me, but it's sitting down and having that conversation of what you want in your life. Okay, because you cannot live in the shadows of your parents. You cannot continue living life saying that, okay, well, this is what they want from me. This is what I'm gonna do. I still live with them, blah, blah, blah. And not saying that living with them is bad, but what I'm saying is that when you live under standards that are not your own, you're never going to break free from that and find your own success because you're still living under things that you don't want, right? Imagine if I lived with my parents and I still stuck to those standards, I probably wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing now. What I've realized in time is that as I choose myself, I find myself more happier in the things that I'm creating and the things that I'm doing. I'm feeling less guilty every single day when I know that I'm working towards my financial freedom. I feel more confident in the decisions that I'm doing. I feel grateful all the time. I'm never going to forget the things that my parents have done for me, but at the same time, I'm never going to forget the times that they've doubted me and told me that I had to live under their standards and their beliefs. No. Because the only way Leah Landaverde is going to do the things that Leah wants to do in her life is by choosing herself and finding these opportunities and also learning from my mistakes. Okay, the only way that we're going to learn in life is by making those mistakes. So as you move forward in your life, okay, I want you to think about this moment, okay? Have you had that conversation with your parents? Have you ever told them, hey, no, I'm working on my financial goals and this is what I want and this is what I can give you. Set a limit. This is the only thing that I can help you on, but I want to go to school. I want to take that course. I want to move away. I want to buy that house. I want to buy that car, and I'm going to do it. And because you are setting those boundaries and they're like, where's that coming from? Right? Or where's that tone coming from? You're setting that boundary of like, okay, I want this. in my life, and it doesn't matter who's stopping me because I'm going to work on it. I'm going to make sure that I get there. Now, the next thing is that action, right? Like that action is what's going to really make them believe you, because my parents have also doubted me because they have not seen action in me. They're like, yo no veo, yo no creo si no veo. Like they literally do not believe me if they don't see it. And so while you take action, I want you to think about where you want to go. And then your parents are going to be like, oh my God, she's actually moving. Oh my God, she actually bought that car. Oh my God, she's getting that degree. And that's literally how I had to prove to my parents that I was going to make it in life. Because I was like, no, I'm going to get a bachelor's degree. Okay. Got the bachelor's degree. I'm going to get a master's degree. Okay. Got the master's degree. Oh, I'm going to move away to a different state. I moved away. I did it because I wanted to find my own happiness and pursue my own dreams and do the things that I wanted to do. They didn't believe me, but I did it anyways, right? And as a first-gen individual, and especially as a person of color, I feel a lot of emotions about how guilty I am. Like, am I selfish for moving away? Probably. But am I happy? Yes. Do I want to break these generational curses that make us feel that we're obligated to continue to live in images that are not of our own? Yeah, I'm going to break those generational curses because I do not want to be a shadow or be unhappy in things that I don't want to do in life. And so in this episode, I really want you to reflect back as you're working on your financial journey. Are you setting those boundaries? Are you talking about the money moves that you want to do? And like I said, you don't have to share everything. You can just tell them that you're motivated in doing something, that you don't want to just sit and work for them, or that you don't want to, stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom. You said, and clean the house. Like, no, these are just stereotypes that I'm mentioning. But there's other things that happen in our lives that our parents want us to do. And I could literally list a lot of them. But there's also, like I said, there's people who have broken away from that. They're like, no, I've set my boundary and I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty because I know that I'm working on my financial goals. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to start saving. I'm going to start investing. I'm going to buy that house and boom, riqueza. Because you decided to choose yourself and choose the things that make you happy. Because while you work on your wealth journey, you want to do things that make you happy. And obviously, sometimes working a lot and trying to make that money is exhausting. But also, as you work through these things and find things that are of your own and things that you want to do for yourself, whether it is start making content on social media, whether that is starting a business and you start going to pop-up shops, or whether that is doing more public speaking events. I don't know. That being said, in this episode, I want you to really reflect on where you're at today and how you're going to move forward. Because as I go through life, I feel that guilt, but the more that I find my success, the less I feel it. Because I know that it was at the cost of things that I love, but I've also won so many things in return. I've also gained so many things in return by pursuing a life that is for me, that is letting go of these standards and the expectations of people that do not serve me or that do not want to see me grow. Like I said, I've had moments in my life where my parents have literally pushed me to the side. So yeah, I don't know, it's not going to happen. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to make it happen. And I like it anytime that anyone tries me, I'm like, no, I'm going to make it happen. I don't know how, I don't know, but I'm going to do it, And so if you want to feel delusional and you're going to no, I'm going to break away, I'm going to do it. Whatever they want to call us, niñas rebeldes, malcriadas, whatever they want to call us, that's fine. That's totally fine. Because we are the ones that are breaking the generational curses. We are the ones that are creating a life for ourselves. We are the ones that are standing our ground. This is not saying that we hate our parents. No, I'm not saying that. This is not saying that we're going to forget about them. No. This is saying that I'm going to work on my financial stability and my financial growth. And because of that, I will have abundance to give. I will have money to give instead of giving money that I do not have and that I cannot afford. You have no idea how many people have come to me and told me that they've given money to family members and now they cannot pay their credit card bill, or they cannot pay or they can't even save. They can't pay their rent sometimes. Imagine that. How many times have you put yourself on the side for someone else and they've never done that in return for you? So set those boundaries, have that conversation, tell them what you want, family members, parents, whatever that might be. Be like, I want to start a business. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I want to let you know that I'm going to be saving money. So I can't give you as much money as I've been giving you before. Maybe I can give you 50% of that, or I can give you $50 or $100, whatever, whatever fits best in your budget. But you can set that boundary of like, I can no longer support you to the fullest extent. I'm going to have to talk to my siblings, if you have siblings, about how we can make sure that we can pay the bills together, or that, hey, I know you're retiring soon and you need some savings, but I can only give you so much. Okay. Or I can give you a monthly allowance. Okay. Setting limits while also helping your family is really important, right? Like, you want to help them. If that's a value that you want to hold within yourself, great. Or you might even have that your parents say, it's okay, hija. I don't need it, actually. Thank you. Gracias por el apoyo. Gracias por decirme que quieres comenzar tu propio negocio. Ahora sí, quiero ver que logras tus metas. They might be super supportive, and I hope that's what you get in return, right? But also setting that boundary and then taking action is super important, because ahora they want to see. They want to see that you can make something happen. And I want to see that you can make something happen. And so that is how I work through my guilt, is by making shit happen. Don't get me wrong. They pop up every so often, that feeling like, oh my God, I'm so far away, or oh my God, how am I going to do it? But every time that I accomplish a little win, or even a big win, I feel more confident that I can reach my goals, that I can confidently retire my parents, that I can make sure that if anything happens to them, I can, send them money, if anything. That is the goal, right? And I'm working towards it. But I'm also going through my own experiences, and I'm going through my own life. Right? Now, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for listening to this second episode of Riqueza podcast. I hope you take away the fact that you are okay in creating your own life. I hope you take away that your parents will still love you. And if they don't, then that's on them, because you are breaking those generational curses by pursuing your financial freedom, by creating something for yourself, by pursuing that career, by going to school. This is all to better yourself, right? And I know, as much as it might hurt, and as much as, a lot of emotions might come up, guilt, shame, you should also not feel that, because you're choosing yourself. You're choosing your success. You're choosing to pursue and to learn. And also, if you make mistakes, that's okay. That's part of the process. I've made mistakes. I have made mistakes myself, and it's okay. But also, setting those boundaries and taking action is really important in our financial journey, because you have no idea how many people, and especially first-gen community, comment on my videos saying, I don't know how you do that because I feel so guilty. I don't know how you, stand for yourself if, your parents live all the way over there and they might need you. Yeah, I know they might need me, but that's why I'm working on myself, so that I can support them. All right. Now, well, thank you for listening to thank you for listening to the next episode. Thank you for listening to Riqueza podcast. I hope you've been enjoying the episodes that we've been releasing. As we go through this podcast, I am sharing more of my journey. So share this with a prima, tu tía, tu hermana. I would love the love. Rate it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And also, make sure to follow us on social media at Riqueza Podcast. And I'll see you on the next one.